Thank you for joining us today on the John Mayaki Show. We want to appreciate your patriotism and your concern for the development of Edo State. Today, we'll be discussing Edo 2024. However, it is too early to discuss. That doesn't stop us from shaping the polity ahead. We've heard of Esan Agenda ahead of Edo 2024. I am not aware of any other agenda, and so that agenda calls for discussion. A lot of people say we are ethnicizing politics. Others say, oh, marginalization from Edo Central, and the politicization of ethnicity and development. Some people say until my man is there, my senatorial district is not developed. Until we have somebody from my place, that is when the person can impact on our lives. But we have seen other persons who come from certain part of the state who have not brought in development to their area. This discussion will include the tendency of manipulating ethnic identities for private interests. A lot of things will happen as we get closer to 2024. And it will be that ethnic politics will create conflicts among loyalists and interests. We want to see in this show how the dynamics of ethnic politics and identities impact on our existing relationship as a state. We've got Edo North, we've got Edo Central, and Edo South. Now, this is called a tripod, coming together to become one. And so we should live with common understanding for our political life and common good. Last 2 weeks, a newly floated socio-cultural group known as Esan Agenda Initiative strongly decried the spate of marginalization of the Esan people, especially in the federal government, in the state appointments. The group demanded that the state, which was founded on a tripod 30 years ago, should be run on the basis of equity, fairness, and justice to all its component parts. Component parts again, Edo North, Edo Central, Edo South. But they said, oh, we have not seen that. And it calls for concern. We should be concerned. There is a video of our man, Peter Isele, where he also condemned what was going on in the state. Peter Isele was not happy about it, and we'll need to listen to that video briefly.
We've had Edo South, and which is Chief Lockheed Benedion. Then we have Adams Oshomole, which is Edo North. Then you also had Godino Baseki now, which is Edo South. So naturally, because of the three senatorial districts, and then I think it is fair and proper that Edo Central produces the next governor. I think that is the best thing for the state to go, if we want it to be inclusive. Because one thing I've learned over time is that we are one. We are one. Edo State, we are one. You see, like other parts of the country where people differ. You see, we virtually hear each other, whether it's Afema, whether it's Ora, or whether you are speaking Benin. So, and I think we are united on that.
That is Comrade Peter Esele there on the marginalization of Edo Central. That is the Esan people in Edo State. Joining me on this program, Mr. Otogile Jeremiah Efosa. He is from Edo South, from Edo local government. He is a quality management expert, a public affairs analyst. We have Mr. Bright Omoregeva, I think. Oredo local government is the Oredo APC Ward 6 publicity coordinator. Joining us again is Mr. Bayo is an environmental health officer, and a public affairs analyst. We have Mr. Sunday Ushomegbe, is a chartered accountant, certified national accountant, and a certified fraud examiner. He works with as an auditor and fraud fighter. He's from the US. Although he resides in the US, he's from Igwebe local government area of Edo State. We have Mr. Onogehen. Onogehen is from Edo Central Senatorial District. He's an accountant by profession. We also have Mr. Jerry Arewa. He's from Esan Central Local Government Area, Edo Central Senatorial District. He is a finance personnel with leaders and company groups, owners of This Day newspaper and Arise TV. He is currently based in Lagos with very strong interest in the politics of Edo State and his senatorial district. Now, addressing a meeting press conference in Benin City, the group led by his president, that was former Speaker, Right Honorable Matthew Egbadon, said the senatorial district was being marginalized. They are of the firm belief that Edo Central Senatorial District has been relegated to the background by successive governments, both at the state and the federal level. Now, many major political appointments, according to him, at the federal and state establishments have been made by political leaders across the party lines without taking the interest of Esan people into consideration. According to him, he said the current political dispensation, only 2 senatorial districts of Edo South and Edo North have effectively occupied the following positions. He enumerated them: the governor from Edo South, the deputy governor from Edo North. He said ambassadorial position is from Edo North and Edo South. He said the minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is either from Edo North or from Edo South. He said one from the South and one from Edo North. He said the secretary to the state government is from Edo South, and that the chief of staff to the governor is either rotating between North and South. And that is just to mention a few. He said the head of service of Edo State is also on that same track. It's on record, according to him, that the office only ceded to the Esan people the office of the Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly. They are quite not happy with that, and that calls for serious concern. As it stands, according to Matthew Egbadon, the former Speaker, Edo State political structure is standing essentially on a bipod instead of a tripod. A bipod instead of a tripod. And he said God himself cannot be happy with it. And even the political expediency originally designed it to be, according to him, a tripod, not a bipod. And so Esan Opa Initiative is deeply concerned and worried about the marginalization of his people, and especially in political appointment, both at the state and federal level. And so Edo Opamaking, meaning Edo we are one, should be something we need to look into. In addition to what he said he's appealing to the state government and every other sons and daughters of Edo State to accord recognition and to what is happening in the state, especially the Esan people. I think we need to look into that plea. He said especially public and civil service of the state. We plead, according to him, he said Esan people plead for Edo State that is run on the basis of equity. Esan people plead for Edo State that is run on the basis of fairness. Esan people plead for an Edo State that is run on the basis of justice to all and its constituent parts. The constituent parts again, Edo North, Edo Central, Edo South. They said he is worried that this is the kind of political injustice that we have made agitations to rise to the boiling point in our state. Now, as for us at the John Mayaki show, we want to believe it is high time, genuine effort here for us, genuine effort to work on these complaints, and for us to birth a charter of equity that will underpin political interactions and power sharing among the three senatorial zones that make up the state, especially as we know that Edo State does not need distractions caused by agitation from political marginalization. It is common knowledge that peace cannot be guaranteed in the absence of justice. And so we want to ask our co-discussants on this show to please take 2 minutes each, introduce yourself, and tell us what you think about Edo 2024 Esan Agenda marginalization. Thank you. Yeah.
Should I start?
Yeah, go ahead. Your name, and you need to introduce your name so that the people can know who is speaking.
Okay, my name is Kosogile Jeremiah. Government, actually, Edo South Senatorial District. First of all, we must understand that there is what is called the Edo Project, the Edo Agenda. The Edo Agenda comprises of both the Edo South, Edo Central, and Edo North Senatorial District. We must first of all build the consciousness of Edo before we start talking about each session. Now, the same agenda that we are having today, by the time the Esan man is there, we'll start having other agendas. And then it calls for worry because at the long run, we'll find out that Edo State will be divided along this 3 major line. No, we should see ourselves as one. Now, what is happening in the national, if we are not careful in Edo State, we are going to have same scenario. I think and I support the Edo agenda, and I think it is best. Let the best candidates, let the political parties show us their candidates. If each political party decides that, oh, for my party, I want to bring an Asian man, and the other party decides that, oh, for our party, they want to bring an Edo North man, and the other party said, okay, let's bring a Benin man. It is not left for the electorate to see the credentials of this personality. Now, I feel for the Asian people because I'm a true Edo breed. I'm a native of Edo South. I schooled in Edo North. I schooled in Edo Central. Politics like this, where we play politics along ethnic lines, it's what brought them to where they are today. We should play politics. Look at the holistic picture of Edo. How are we going to develop Edo? If an Esan man is there and he's not thinking about the Edo project, and you find out that he will still come again to start talking about the African agenda or the Benin agenda. I'm in support of the Edo project, and whoever is there, whoever becomes whoever, the Edo State should carry the entire 3 senatorial districts along line. And I think with that, we will not be having a situation whereby somebody says that because my brother is not there, nothing is getting to me. No, if we have a leader who is seeing Edo as an entity and not divided along ethnic lines, we will not be having such scenario like our honorable former speaker, Matthew Pardon, just highlighted now. So I think let's have leaders who are passionate about the Edo project and not along ethnic line. I'll stop there. I'll come back to it.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Okay, thank you. I think I should take in a little.
Yeah.
Actually, for me,
Your name.
I think this is the thing. Okay. Oh, sorry. My name is Isaac Osadolo. I'm about local government area. And, I'm a BSc holder in banking and finance. I'm a political analyst, but I'm busy in general. So, personally, I think this is the biggest result of fake leadership, and if you like, call it fake government. Because right now, I think it's a shame in this present time and day age that we are still discussing where a governorship candidate comes from. Because this, I've got to understand that this is one of the instruments that the elites are using to divide us. They are dividing us along ethnic lines, along regional lines, along even religious lines, and in recent past, along political affiliation lines. You see people tell you, because this person is from this political party, I will not vote for him, or rather, I will vote for him because he's from this political party, giving no regards to the person's credentials, the antecedent that brought that person to where that person is. So for me as a person, I think the ground norm should be the Edo agenda. We have to think about the people that have first the moral value, the moral conscience as to move Edo forward, irrespective of where they are from, irrespective of their religion or their ethnicity. What do I care if the whole government that are with Edo State are from Akoko Edo, or they are from they are Aoshi people, or they are Esan people? I don't care, so long as they give me the dividends of democracy. I wouldn't care, and I wouldn't mind what region they are from or what ethnicity they are. Because if we continue like this, believe you me, the future is going to be far worse than this. Then you are going to see an Esan people, which are from the Central Senatorial District, telling you that, come on, this governor we had before was from Igwedo, so the next one has to be an Ekpomama. In fact, that one was an Ekpomama, this one has to be an Irama. Or this man is an Irama, the other one has to be an India Jama. So where are we heading to? Where are we heading to at the end of it?
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
So if we are being honest, okay.
Thank you. I will take this call and I'll come back to the next speaker. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Omar, please on the line.
Your name and where are you calling from?
I'm coming from local government. Omar
Former what?
communication.
All right, go ahead with your contribution, please.
Yes, I think it's time for Edo Central Senatorial District to be the next governor of Edo State, because I can remember vividly that Edo Central has not participated in democracy since 1999. So General Promoter himself and most sponsors have Ilitu and Ojited who are serving Edo South. So the former governor Anu Shogun served for 8 years, and the present governor of Abeki is serving 8 years. So in my own opinion, I think those South and those North Central District should allow the people of those Central Senatorial District to contest for 2024 in the governorship election that is forthcoming, because equity and federal character need to be appropriate, so that we will not have equity and other religious fight in the nearest future. So I think the leaders of political parties need to think beyond selfish interests and allow the people of those Central Senatorial District to produce somebody that has integrity that is loved by the people. So that's my own opinion.
Thank you so very much, sir. We appreciate your contribution. Thank you, sir. I appreciate, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah. The next speaker, our next speaker, please. I'm not sure we can hear him. Okay, the lines are free. Feel free to call. There are lines showing right there on the screen. Kindly call in to make your contribution. Now, since 1999, we've had Governor Lucky Igbenedion, who had 8 years in office. After that, Comrade Adams Oshomole had 8 years in office too. And don't forget, Governor Lucky Igbenedion is from Edo South. Governor Adams Oshomole is from Edo North. And today, we have Godwin Obaseki, who has completed 4 years in office as first term, is in his second term now. So, is going to complete his second term, making 2 tenure. If you add that to that of Lucky Benedio, that will be 16 years from Edo South Senatorial District. Now, Edo North has done 8 years. Now, after the present government of Mr. Godwin Obaseki, where should the pendulum swing to? That is the point of discussion. Just listening to the video of those guys from Esan, who also complain of marginalization, please.
No Esan presently can be said to occupy any political office of substance. We, the people of Esan, are united and very resolute on this matter. Suffice it to say that Esan youth, women, men of substance are hereby advised to guard against any form of inducement to sell out Esan collective interest, because posterity is watching and taking note.
And so, these guys are complaining about marginalization. I think we need to look into this complaint. So, the next speaker, please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, you see, I thank God for the fact that Edo State is gradually becoming a political state. I do not want us to fall prey to politics dividing us along ethnic lines. It will not be healthy for the future and for our children. It will be so good for us to understand that there is what is called the Edo Project. See, I do not, as much as I love the Asian people, I will not ask that let us have an Asian agenda. Because until we start seeing ourselves as one in Edo State, we will not be able to achieve so much. Now, let me ask, the last Edo North man that was the governor of the state, did he benefit the Edo South people? Did he benefit the Edo Central? When the Edo South man was there before now, did he benefit the Edo South? Did he benefit the Edo Central? Did he benefit the Edo North? So politics should not be about ethnicity. Politics should be about what the person's antecedent is. So if the Esan people think that, oh, they've been marginalized, which to some extent, if you check what they are putting on the table, they have the right to say so. Let them bring their best game. Let them bring their elite. Let them bring those persons that have antecedents, and let them throw into the ring, and let's see who is best for the job. And I beg to differ on this, that please, whenever we have a governor, we should not see the governor as the governor of the Benin, or as the governor of the Afemai, or as the governor of the Esan people. We should see the governor as the governor of Edo State. If he fails, the Edo project has failed. If he succeeds, the Edo project has succeeded. It is not the Esan agenda. It is not the Benin agenda. It is not the Afeman agenda. It is the Edo agenda. And if we can get the Edo agenda right from now to 2024, we find out that Edo State will become the pride of other states. Other states want to draw from our state. So please, let the Asian people, let every other person, let us join hands together to develop Edo State. Let us not see Edo State as segmented. Let us come together. Let us achieve a common goal. Now, let every political party decide on what they want. I cannot decide for each political party what they want, but let us know that the electorate will look at the antecedents of each candidate presented before us, and we will not vote along ethnic lines. We will only vote by the pedigree of the candidates that we think can bring out the Edo project, the Edo agenda, and not just a particular sect benefit. We want a governor that will benefit the Benin. We want a governor that will benefit the Esan man. We want a governor that will benefit the African man. If development is all situated in Edo South and Edo Central is not benefiting, if I'm going to travel to Abuja, I'm going to travel through the route of those parts that are not developed. And we have problems on those places because there's no development. So let the development cut across the entire nation, the entire state, and let it not be situated, let it not be saturated in one place. And that's why the Edo agenda should be paramount above every other agenda. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Yeah, the next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. John, for this platform. It's quite exciting. You've been doing so well, and we appreciate you for bringing everyone together to be able to air our voice.
Thank you.
I actually appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, with regard to the discourse this afternoon around where should the next governor come from those states, like the last speaker said, I actually came to what he has said. You know, what we should do in Edo State is to look for the best hand that can actually do the job. You see, the reason why Nigeria today is backward is because of sensationalism. We play a lot of politics of religion and politics of tribalism, and we are not actually looking for who is the best man for the job. So I think what those people need to do in 2023 is to keep sentiment aside. But even though we know there's this unwritten agenda in Nigeria politics where they play what is called rotational kind of politics. So for instance, if the governor is from the south, the north, the central or the north is expected to take the baton of leadership. But I think for fairness and for equity, even though constitutionally it's not there, I know there's no constitution that provide for rotational governor or presidency. But there is this unwritten agenda that is in the mind of every people in Nigeria.
Yeah, just a minute.
Particularly.
Sorry, just a minute. Let's take this call. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is St. Moses. I'm calling from
Calling from where? Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I'm calling from
Oh, okay.
I want to quickly make a suggestion or a contribution to it. First of all, discussion not in order. So the question is curious. How would you asking where the next governor will come from? Very clearly, since 1999, you can become the governor of the state. The only one who was governor was just the accident that was rejected by the court. And that was a year and 6 months. You know, Esan has been deputy governor. Isako has been, Afema has been governor for 8 years, deputy governor by 2024 for 16 years. He has been governor for 16 years, deputy governor for 8 years. Esan has not had the deputy governor once, has not had the governor for once. So, if you ever want to see a do upper machine, if it ever makes sense to see that an Esan man will present by both parties for 2024. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you so very much, sir. I appreciate this call. Thank you. Yeah. And so the caller is saying that if we must have Edo Opama King, Edo is one, we must have somebody from Edo Central to also take a shot at the Osadebe Avenue. That is what the caller is saying. You can go ahead with your contribution, Mr. Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Mr. John. Yes. So I was trying to say that what we should look out for in 2023 is the capacity and the integrity of who wants to occupy the Osadebe house. But even though there's this, even though we know that there's no constitution that makes provision for rotational governorship or presidency, but it's in the mind of every tribe or every senatorial district to have a shot at the governorship. So for equity and fairness, I will also agree that those clamoring for Esan Agenda are right. Because if you look at the kind of politics of today, it's no longer the politics of trying to wait for the right thing to be done. Everybody needs to come up and speak up. People need to engage the political class. People need to participate in the politics. And the only way this can be done is for every senatorial district to be recognized, because that will bring in that equity and fairness in Edo State. You will agree with me that the Edo South has had almost 8 years now. 8 years before, and this government is doing 6 years now from right. And we also have from the Edo North 8 years. And I think the Edo Central has only had 18 months from my little research I've done. So for equity and fairness, I will actually subscribe for the next governor of Edo State to actually come from Edo Central.
Thank you,
like I
sir.
said, the competency of who will occupy that governor position should be sacrosanct. So if, for instance, we are having someone that has a lot of corruption on his head, or someone that has already been accused of corruption, or someone that we know that is not competent, and we cannot say because he's an Asian man or because we want an Asian person to become the governor, we should allow that work. No. So we should look out for someone that is actually on, someone that has that integrity, and someone who has the feeling of people. Because Nigerians are suffering. Edo State particularly, they're suffering everywhere all over Nigeria. Currently, the economy is not looking good. And we're actually looking for the kind of person that can actually salvage the situation. And I'm talking to Edo people all over the world today that look, what has taken us back in this country is because we'll be playing politics of tribalism and religion. Because what happens today is, if your brother is the governor of Edo State, oh, you are happy, you don't care about what the next person is going through. So the next thing they will tell you is just wait for your turn. So that has hindered our development. That has also affected the growth of our society in general. So, but for equity and fairness, I will subscribe that the next governor should come from Edo State. But let that person be someone who has integrity. Let that person be someone who can actually be a peace builder, a bridge builder, someone who can actually spread the dividend of democracy, irrespective of the senatorial district he or she comes from. So, John Miyake, I will have to pause for now for that speaker to actually give a short of this.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. When you mentioned the Edo Central having 18 months, let me quickly remind you that you're talking about Osumbo. Osumbo's tenure is not assumed to have tasted government at all. In the records, according to the court judgment, it is not on record that he was a governor. So you cannot count that 18 months.
Oh, really? Okay, fine. Thank you for that correction. So that means Edo State, Edo Central has not had a governor for the past, since the return of democracy.
Since the return of,
So if that is the situation, I will actually support those. To be honest with you, Mayaki, I'm from a minority tribe in Edo Central. My tribe is Ekmo. Ekmo is an Ika-speaking language. We are more or less here as a Banke people or people from Abo. So we also have, there's a lot of discrimination we are also facing in nation. So once it comes to the Asian politics, so unlike what President Awolowo was said, that until Kenya become a country, there will not be peace in Nigeria. You see, so you can see that even in the same nation, there's also some tribes that are not recognized. So there's some local governments or there's some wards that are not recognized. But we are not saying that the next governor should come from my own village or from my own community. But we are saying for Isha. And if you go to Isha and Urumi man will say, no, let it be an Urumi. And Ekuma person will also say, no, you have to be from my community. Same thing from the person in Lubiaja, Urumi, Igweben and all that. We can see. So that's what we say. For the kind of politics we are playing today in Nigeria is actually taking us back. You know why? Because we are looking after our own self, not for the benefit of the people. That is why I am a believer of the classical school of thought, where we believe on collectivism and not individualism. You see, in an individualism society, people begin to fight and struggle for their self-interest, personal aggrandizement. And that is why you see today in Nigeria, there's a lot of malfeasance in leadership. People want to occupy political offices because they feel if they are not occupying any political offices, they can no longer pay their bills. So you see someone who is a councillor is already scheming to be a local government chairman, From local government chairman, he's scheming to be a House of Assembly member, and from House of Assembly, he's scheming to be a House of Rep member or a governor. So does it mean that our political class early does not have anything to do? They don't have any other interest apart from politics? The answer is because we are playing an individualism politics. A politics where one person have it all. So for instance, if your brother is from the governor or you are from a certain community where your brother is a governor, the governor will concentrate the whole project in the annual budget of that state. Large chunk of it will go to his community. He does not care. And what baffles me most is that these same politicians, they come every 4 years to subscribe for our vote. They tell our people the same story they've told you 4 years ago, or the same story they've told you 8 years ago, and we actually supported them. But why is it that by the time they emerge as a government, people forget you and I? Those promises, we can no longer hold them accountable with their manifestos. We no longer see them. We no longer even come to the community.
Thank you so very much.
And the same people will be waiting for the next election for them to be deceived again. So they're more or less the gullible people that are so myopic.
Thank you so very much.
So it is time for people to speak up. Let our people know there should be an orientation aside politics. There should be an orientation. And one thing too, I also want to use this opportunity to say that the kind of politics we play in Edo State is not good. Our politics is so violent. I've had an opportunity to travel into some countries and some states in Nigeria here. I have not seen the kind of politics where you play, you see father disowning his child because of politics. Your father will tell you, you can no longer pay your school fees because you did not vote for this political party A or you did not vote for this political party B. So as a good people, we should begin to understand that politics is all about being able to confuse people. Politics is all about being able to sell your ideology.
Thank you so very much.
Should be able to, just like someone who have two guys win a particular lady, you should be able to convince the other lady that you are the right man. So tell us what you have done. You know, so that is what I'm actually encouraging.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
To ensure we restrain violence in our politics, because by the time we bring in violence into our politics, some good hands will not come to our politics. Nobody will.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate.
Take a political position.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. I want to thank you for this platform.
Thank you.
That you giving us to air our views. You know, it's not easy. I also want to thank, excuse me, the last speaker, Mr. Saturday, for his views. You know, they said things go well when everybody have this sense of belonging in every society. Where some people are made to feel that they are less important, you don't always have things going in the right direction in such places. And I'm happy, you know, the correction that you made just now when Mr. Saturday said that Edo Central had 1 year and 18 months in the Sadebe house since Saturday. Yes, since 1999, you corrected in that. Even that short period that Professor Sumbo was governor, it's not recorded. And that now brings me to the point. If you will permit me, let me just read out few facts that I have here since 1999 to 2024. Edo South has produced governor for 16 years and deputy governor for 8 years. Edo North has produced governor
sorry for that. I'm sorry. Edo South has produced how many years?
Governor for 16 years.
No.
Well, I'm talking of up to 2024.
No, let us get
at the end of Obaseki's second tenure.
Okay.
At the end of Obaseki's second tenure, that's at 2024. It would have been 16 years. Why deputy governorship would be 8 years? I do not would have produced governor for 8 years. Why deputy governor for 16 years? And while Edo Central, if we decide to discount Professor Sombo's 1 year, 6 months or thereabouts, it means Edo Central have not produced governor for 0 years up to 2024 and deputy governor for 0 years. That would be very, very unfair. And you know, anyhow you look at it, we discover that Edo Central have also played a very, very vital role in producing the governors for these other two senatorial districts. So it can only be fair if this time around the slot goes to Edo Central. So that everyone will have that sense of belonging. And the kind of policy that we play these days, which of course is not right, and that's what Mr. Saudi was trying to point out. We discovered that any government that comes, of course, Benin City is the state capital. So every government that comes must work in Benin City. That is a given. Then you discover that tendency to go to your own senatorial district has always been there. And you cannot abuse whoever that does that. When Osombo was, when Professor Ali was governor of Edo State, that's how AU came to Ebom, if you agree with me. That happened to be his place. Now, when Comrade Oshomole became governor too, he was able to do one or two things in his own place. If that be the case, if that had been the trend, then it becomes funny when a particular senatorial district for several years, since 1999, had not even produced a deputy governor, talk less of a governor. So my point here is we have to play fairness, we have to consider fairness, we have to consider equity, come 2024. There is no way anybody wants to convince the people of Edo Central that they are taken seriously, or they want to make them feel a part of the state if governorship does not go to that place. Then, talking about qualification, I want to tell you, there is no single, among the 18 local governments of the state, there is no local government that does not have someone that is qualified to be governor. No single local government. Because if you are looking at qualification, at times you may want to go beyond politics. Those people that are playing active politics, you have people that are not even in politics now, but they are doing well in other events, their chosen career all over the world. That when you bring them on board, they will perform excellently well. What we want to achieve as a state is a state that is progressive, a state where peace, justice and fairness reign. And with that, I want to make a special appeal that Edo Central should be given, the first choice of refusal at the end of Obaseki's second term. That is the contribution I want to make. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
Earlier in the program, I was talking about a charter that should benefit from the buy-in of political leaders and the people, as it will go a long way to assure the minority and the majority tribes of their fair share and positions at every intersection in government, especially in the state government, as well as ensure that there is a seamless ceding of power as at when due. It is only by so doing that we can say Edo Okpamakin. When we say Edo Okpamakin, we mean Edo State, we are one. The lines are free. You are allowed to make your contribution. Call us and tell us what you think about ethnic politics, marginalization as complained by the Asian people, and what you think is the way forward. You guys have heard of Edo 2024, the Esan Agenda. Now, they are saying that Lucky Benidorm had 8 years from Edo South. Some other guys are saying, oh, if you combine that with the present government of Godwin Obaseki, he would have spent 8 years, including the Lucky Benidorm time, making 16 years. And so, Edo North has spent 8 years in Comrade Adams Oshomole. And so it should come back in 2024 to Edo Central. Now, and so they are saying they are being marginalized, and that the political leadership across political divides should look into this so that these issues can be addressed. If we say we are one in Edo State, we need to look into these issues. Last week or last 2 weeks, a group from the Esan had a press conference at the NUJ Press Center complaining about marginalization. And there's a video we have here, Peter Isele, who also complained about marginalization. We'll play it again so that you hear him complain about marginalization.
We've had a Do South, and which is Chief Lockheed Benedion. Then we have Adams Oshomole, which is a Do North. Then you also had Godin Obaseki now, which is a Do South. So naturally, because of the three senatorial districts, and then I think it is fair and proper that Edo Central produces the next governor. I think that is the best thing for the state to go. If we want it to be inclusive, because one thing I've learned over time is that we are one. We are one. Edo State, we are one. You see, like other parts of the country where people differ. You see, we virtually hear each other, whether it's Afema, whether it's Ora, or whether you are speaking Benin. So, and I think we are united on that.
Now, there is another video of some other persons who also complain about marginalization. Listen to, take a view at that video.
No Esan presently can be said to occupy any political office of substance. We, the people of Esan, are united and very resolute on this matter. Suffice it to say that Esan youth, women, men of substance are hereby advised to guard against any form of inducement to sell out Esan collective interest, because posterity is watching and taking notes.
We are fully marginalized.
So, this platform is not here to support the domination of a particular senatorial district in power. No, we are here for fair play, for equity. It is important that we carry ourselves along in the scheme of things in Edo State. It is very important that if a particular senatorial district is being disadvantaged, knowingly or unknowingly, we must do everything possible to make sure it is addressed. A whole senatorial district, regardless of its minority status, is too big to be politically denied or disadvantaged, or if you say enslaved in a state where everyone should be equal. It is a fact of our Fourth Republic history that Edo South produced the governor of the state in the person of Lockheed Benedion from 1999 to 2007. The victory of Professor Sumbo from Edo Central in 2007 was short-lived, and so we cannot count that to be until that of the court gave it to Comrade Adams Oshomole. And so he has had 8 years for Edo North, and so he was in the saddle since 2008, that is 2008 to 2016. Should the Edo Central not have been given the opportunity to produce the governor from 2016 to 2024 in the spirit of political equity? That is the question that is being asked as we speak. What we have witnessed is a collective pandering to the majority, according to the marginalization of the Esan people to grab gubernatorial power. This weakness, according to them, in the power sharing arrangement that has rendered Edo Central easily subjugated and subservient to the majority of the senatorial district, according to them, could trigger a lot of issues. So we need a charter of equity that will assuage fears and feeling of marginalization, and if conscientiously implemented, it will go a long way to bring us together as one, so that we can live together in peace and harmony. This is surely a good starting point for political renaissance in Edo State. The lines are there to call. Feel free to call us and tell us your view about it. We must avoid, for us at the John Mayaki Show, we must avoid needless political agitations. We must avoid that. And because they could unsettle the heartbeat of the state. We need to do something about that. This will be all on the day show for today. Until we come your way again, remember that life is a gift. We have always told you, life is a gift. You need to, at every point in time, every day you live, to witness life. It is an opportunity for you to do something. And don't just do something extraordinary, do something great that could change your destiny. We want to say again, take charge, be in good health, and take care of yourself. Bye for now.